Thank you, Rabbi Emily. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name's Vanessa Friedman. I'm the Deputy Managing Editor of Hey Alma. We're very grateful to all of you for choosing to spend some time with us today, reflecting on this terrible year of mourning. Thank you for being here. I want to thank Rabbi Emily Cohen for joining us today and introduce her to those of you who don't know her or her work. Rabbi Emily is a rabbi, artist, and the leader of West End Synagogue in Manhattan. 1 year ago, she held space for us on the first Shabbat after October 7th, and we found gathering together as a community to be such a balm. When we, the Hey Alma team, thought about how we wanted to spend today and what we wanted to offer our community today, we couldn't think of anyone better than Rabbi Emily to guide us all through our collective grief. I will now turn it back to Rabbi Emily. Thank you again, everyone, for being here with us.
Thank you, Vanessa. And hi, everybody. It feels both profound and devastating to have reached the 1 year mark after October 7th. And I know that we have all experienced this year in many different ways and are holding so many different feelings right now. We live in two calendars in the Jewish world. We have the secular calendar, where it's the first secular yahrzeit, the first secular anniversary of October 7th. And we are still a few weeks away from the Hebrew anniversary, which will fall on Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, in a few weeks. And so we're in this period of time where we can really hold the depth of the losses that have befallen Jews, Palestinians, Israelis, Arabs over this last year. And so as we hold our mourning, as we hold where we are, I want to just invite in the chat one-word responses to the question of how are you feeling now? And I truly want to encourage you to keep your response to one word. This is not a time to get into the head space. This is really a time for the heart space and the gut space. And so I'll just bring in a few as you populate the chat with them. I'm seeing hopeful and lost and burnt out and heavy and sad, disappointed and depleted, despondent, exhausted, angry, broken. So much tiredness, overwhelmed, numb, anxious, and unmoored, heavy, bereft, crushed, disoriented, enraged, embalmed, shocked. And I am seeing a couple of you who are feeling hopeful as well, even as many others are feeling traumatized, alienated, alone, heartbroken. All of these feelings are valid. All of them are reflections of this terrible, terrible time. And it may be the case that even today you find yourself fluctuating among several different feelings. You might be feeling angry now and find yourself in tears later. You might find yourself very upset and sad now and find yourself with an edge of hope later. It's really hard to know how you're going to feel as you go through today, as we hold this immense time of grief. And it's worth remembering as well that for many of us, the season of 5784, this start of the Jewish year last year, was the first time that we'd felt fully in community since the start of the COVID pandemic, where many synagogues were back at full capacity after having been closed or at limited capacity for some time. And so we're also still reeling from everything that we've lost since 2020 and before that as well. So many people have lost so much in this time, and we want to bring in a poem from a mother who lost her son. Many of you will know the name of Rachel Goldberg Poland, the mother of Hirsch Goldberg Poland, who was one of the hostages murdered about a month ago now by Hamas. And regardless of how you might feel politically about what is happening, regardless of where your heart is aching the most, I hope that you can hear this poem, which Rachel wrote about 2 months after her son's being taken hostage. I hope you can hear it as a cry for peace, as a cry for hope, as a cry for something better. So I'm going to read it for us. And I invite you to imagine any mother, the mother of an Israeli, the mother of a Palestinian, the mother of an American, the mother of a Jew, a Muslim, a Christian, someone who is Druze, Bedouin. All of these mothers may have these wishes and these hopes for their children. One tiny seed. There is a lullaby that says your mother will cry 1,000 tears before you grow to be a man. I have cried 1,000,000 tears in the last 67 days. We all have. And I know that way over there's another woman who looks just like me, because we are all so very similar. And she has also been crying. All those tears, a sea of tears, they all taste the same. Can we take them, gather them up, remove the salt and pour them over our desert of despair, and plant one tiny seed, a seed wrapped in fear, trauma, pain, war, and hope, and see what grows? Could it be that this woman, so very like me, that she and I could be sitting together in 50 years, laughing without teeth because we have drunk so much sweet tea together, and now we are so very old, and our faces are creased like worn-out brown paper bags, and our sons have their own grandchildren, and our sons have long lives, one of them without an arm, but who needs 2 arms anyway? Is it all a dream, a fantasy, a prophecy, one tiny seed? And even as Rachel's hope for her own son has been crushed with his death, there are so many other mothers with these hopes for their sons. so many other parents with these hopes for their children. May this be a prophecy. I'm going to bring in a song that I imagine many of you have heard. The words of Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam. May there be peace over all of us. And I know that y'all are muted, but I do hope that you'll sing wherever you are. I can see your mouths moving even if I can't hear you. And the more that we can be together in this, the more powerful this will be. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu Ve'al Kol Ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu Ve'al Kol Ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. We have lost so many people this year, an unbelievable number of people. Many people on this call may have lost someone in this war on October 7th that they knew personally, a friend, a family member, but nearly all of us likely have 1 or 2 degrees of separation from someone who has been killed, who has lost their life to this war. And so in a moment, I'm going to invite you to put names in the chat of people whom you've lost. Of course, the names of those that we know, and there are names of those that we've known, but also to consider those who we only know through their story without having ever met in person. And beyond that, those whose stories and names and faces we may not know either. All of you are part of this community, and this community is a community of immense loss. And so we're going to open up the chat and take a moment as people are invited to place the names of their beloveds. And if this also happens to be a yahrzeit or a period of mourning for you for someone who was not killed as part of this war, but has still passed in this last year or at this time in seasons past, you're invited to put their names in the chat as well. We'll take a moment to just witness one another's names, and then we're going to say the Mourner's Kaddish together. And I like to imagine when we say Kaddish for many people, as we are about to today, that their souls are dancing together, either literally, if that's your theology, or in the sense that by bringing them to our minds right now, we are bringing them into one place. We are bringing them into a shared sense, a shared being. The Mourner's Kaddish is an opportunity for us to come together in our grief, to be witness to and to witness grief together. I invite you to center yourself wherever you are, to take a deep breath, and you can rise in body or in spirit. And if you know the words, say them, and if you don't, you can listen, and that's just as important. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemir Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yirteh V'yamlich Malchuteh, B'chayechon V'yomechon, Uv'chayeh D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala Uv'yizman Kariv V'yamru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam U'almei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal Shemed Kudeshah B'rechu, Le'ela Le'ela Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Zamiran Be'alma V'yamru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'yamru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'ramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'yamru Amen. May the memories of all of those whom you've named in our chat, all of those on your hearts, all of those who have lost their lives, whose names we know and whose names we don't know, be for a blessing, be for an inspiration, and be for good. We have one more question for you as we think about the future, realizing that we have reached this difficult moment of 1 year, and yet the world does not stop. And so as we look forward, as we consider our future, I would love for you to share one hope or prayer that you have for the coming year. And so I'll invite you to place those in our chat. And if you have trouble coming up with a hope, someone in my congregation said that her hope was to have hope. And so perhaps that can be your hope as well. And I'll just share a few as they come in. Peace and community, tikkun olam, hostages coming home, understanding, safety, peace and justice, love, the blessing, understanding that righteousness will prevail, healing, community and harmony, to see Israeli friends again, revival of body, mind, and spirit, understanding, empathy, and compassion, the courage to face the things we must, moving beyond polarities and binaries, a move away from hatred for the other, abundance of love and hope, family, peace, reunion, and prosperity. And as you continue to place your hopes and your prayers in the chat, I'm going to bring in one more song for us, one more moment of music. I find myself, when I am feeling particularly overwhelmed by the world, that I often end up finding solace in creation of something. And the day or two after October 7th last year, I crafted this particular tune for Oseh Shalom, and I used the feminine Hebrew. For those who are familiar, Hebrew is a gendered language, so it's rendered in either the masculine or feminine, although now there's some really interesting work with the non-binary Hebrew project to expand that out further. My friend and colleague Gail Kanarick has done quite a lot of work to render traditional prayers in the feminine, and I found myself drawn to her iteration of Oseh Shalom. So instead of Oseh, it's Osah, and I've also added the line Ve'el benot Yishmael, the children of Ishmael, calling for peace for them as well. So I'm going to play this for us as my own hope and prayer for a better, peaceful future for us. Shalom. Bimra Hitase Shalom. Osa Shalom. Hitase Shalom. Aleinu ve'alka Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al benot Ishmael. Aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru Amen. Please take care of yourselves, take care of one another, take care of community, and may this year be better than the last. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to Hey Alma.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Emily. And thank you for everybody for joining us today. Goodbye.